President before we conclude today. Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to call on the grammarian today.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Toastmaster. As your grammarian for today, I will track filler words like and like, and also I will track non-words such as. I'll also take note of the use of the word of the day, which is resilient. The definition of resilient is able to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties, adaptable and strong in the face of challenges. An example sentence is speakers can grow resilient by not letting a filler word or stutter define their whole speech, but instead using the moment to regain focus and carry on with confidence. At the end of the meeting, I'll give a report on how often the word of the day was used and where filler words appeared. Thank you.
I would now like to call on the timer.
Greetings, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As timer, I will time the table topics, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the... Hold on, let me get my background. Using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topics should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will have the yellow background. And at 2 minutes, I will have the red background. And for the icebreaker, they should be 4 to 6 minutes long. At 4 minutes, I will have the green background. At 5 minutes, I will have the yellow background. And at 6 minutes, I will have the red background. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length. And at 5 minutes, I'll have the green background. At 6 minutes, I'll have the yellow background. And at 7 minutes, I'll have the red background. The individual evaluations should be 2 to 3 minutes. And at 2 minutes, I will have the green background. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I will have the yellow background. And at 3 minutes, I will have the red background. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
I would now like to call on the first evaluator, Santa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adia. Today's first speaker is Jason Pendergrass. His speaking project is about social media presence, and it is on his pathway called dynamic leadership, which is different from our CC menu you are working on. So he's taking on a current Toastmasters training material, which is called Pathway. But anyway, everything you learned in the Toastmasters CC menu applies in his pathway. So I'm going to evaluate Jason based on his PowerPoint slides, the clarity, his organization, and his body language, his vocal variety, all the good stuff. So without further ado, let's welcome Jason.
First.
Then you cannot see the timer. You cannot see.
We'll do it like that, just on the first slide.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Toastmasters. Today I'm going to teach you how I use social media to build my professional brand. For me, I use Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I know there's other social media companies out there, but that's the three I use. Next slide. So why is branding important? Well, I use it to create job opportunities. I prove my expertise every time I post relevant topics on Facebook or LinkedIn. I create familiarity. For example, a plant manager during a previous interview thought he knew me personally because we were connected on LinkedIn. And so throughout the interview process, he was rooting for me. Every time I gave a good answer, he was smiling. So I got the job and I felt good about it. But I knew when he was cheering for me, I had a really good chance of landing that job. And also, companies will research who you are when you're applying for a job. They can Google your name, it's going to go to your Facebook account or whatever your social media is. They can dig deep and see who you are now and who you were 10 years ago. So make sure your social media builds a positive image. I've also used social media for alternative methods of communicating with decision makers. On 2 occasions, I've interviewed for a job that I really wanted, only to get ghosted by the decision maker. One was the COO and the other one was the owner of the company. And I could not understand why, because the interview went well, but then silence. So while I was using social media, I was able to directly message those people. And there's no other way to connect with them. I can't call them up at their desk at work. I can't email them and expect them to answer my email. But I can contact them on LinkedIn, for example, and explain why I would be a good fit for their company. In both instances, they gave me the job. So it works. My strategy for branding and my resilience strategy for branding. Be professional. Whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, I paint the same message. Be professional in all of your messaging. Be authentic, be who you are, but be professional. And then be consistent. Consistent in your messaging, what kind of person you're trying to portray yourself as, and consistent with your frequency. If you're actively looking for a job, 3 times a week is a good number, in my opinion, to be posting, minimal. And if you're just casually trying to keep relevance, once or twice a month. But be consistent with that. Also, post content showcasing your expertise and skills. For me, I post information related to engineering, managing people, managing budgets, managing projects, business strategy, things or items or topics that are relevant to my career. And every time I post, that information posts on timelines of thousands of connections. So it's like a commercial. They see my name, they agree with what I'm saying, and they think they know me, or they do know me, or they feel like they know me. And when I meet them in person in the actual interviews, sometimes 3 years later, 5 years later, that's real examples, there's a connection, and hopefully I get the job. So post content that showcases your expertise and your skills. And then friend requests, key contacts. So if there's a company that you're interested in one day working for, even if it's no time soon, friend requests, make connections with people in that organization. And then when it's time to apply for the job, if you're getting ghosted, or you need to prove your expertise, they will see it, and hopefully they will be one of the decision makers. Or if not, they can route you to the decision maker. So try to friend request and connect with people throughout social media. It's not the same as knowing them in person, but it's better than no connection at all. And I also suggest adding some personal content. And we'll look at some examples of all of this in a few minutes, but add some personal content, make sure it has an impact. And the examples will show that. So next slide. On Facebook, and you'll see some of the postings I've made in the past, and just know my LinkedIn account is very similar. My profile picture is very professional. It's got me in a suit and tie. That's not how I dress day to day, but it presents a professional image. Also, I have my job, work history, my education, everything in my profile picture. I've also got YouTube videos showcasing different skills, whether it's engineering. I actually like to emphasize my Mandarin on YouTube, so I have links for that. For example, my work history. Then, of course, I'm always representing the Gavel Club. That does a couple things. One, shows a great group of people I hang out with. Also shows me with my favorite Toastmaster, Deanna. But it also implies that I might be a decent communicator, which in industry, you'll be surprised how much poor communication costs companies money. So if you're a good communicator, that's a bullet point on your resume. And then last, I post topics related to my engineering. So here's where I was troubleshooting a piece of equipment, and I post what I found, how I troubleshot, so it proved my engineering expertise. LinkedIn's the same way, and it's more of an online resume. And that's the one I use more than Facebook, but I still use them both. So LinkedIn, again, my profile picture, suit and tie, same profile picture, same relevant information, work history, education. Again, I'm showing my level 3 Toastmasters journey where I got my certificate. Again, emphasizing communication skills. And then again, on the personal side, I posted a picture with myself and Deanna at the Chinese New Year. And that does a couple things besides making me like a wonderful dad. It also, I typed the message in Chinese, again emphasizing Mandarin. And then my last post was a technical topic related to engineering. So those are just examples. And when I'm actively looking for a job, I post on a regular basis. And if times like now where I'm not really looking, I just post occasionally just to keep my mind fresh on my name fresh on their minds next time. And so with that, I'd like to encourage all of you to build your brand using social media. But make sure the brand you create matches your goals. In my case, future employment opportunities. So whatever your goals are, make sure your social media brand supports that. Thank you, Toastmasters.
I would now like to introduce Evaluator 2.
Hello, I'll be the second evaluator for Deanna, and what is your speech about?
We should adopt it.
You should adopt it.
Why you should adopt a pet. And this will be your persuasive speech, and I'll be grading you on your logical support, strong emotional appeal, your sincerity and conviction, credible sources, self-interest, and audience's interest and approval.
You should adopt a pet. Pets make great birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, or you can get a pet for no reason at all. Sadly, almost 1 million pets are put to sleep each year. That's lots of lives lost. Pets are really loving. For example, they're fun to play with. Whether it's fetching, swimming, or watching TV. I had 2 adopted pets. First, I had a dog named Pepper. She was sweet and loving. She was also a guard dog. It's 1 a.m. She's standing in the middle of the living room, making sure no one breaks in. Luckily, no one did. There's also an alarm clock. 6 a.m. every Saturday morning. She'll bark because she sees a squirrel outside. She goes outside, starts chasing it, and then she comes in and lays on the couch. And our Saturday morning has just started. She also stole my chicken sandwich once. We were at the park all day, and when we got back, I was hungry. So I decided to eat a chicken sandwich. It was in my hand, and Pepper took a bite out of the back of it. I couldn't stay mad at her forever. We also have a cat named Dora. She's sweet, unless you're a mouse, or a bird, or a squirrel, or any small animal. Then she's a vicious killer. She's also quiet. For your advice, she does not meow at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning. She's also fun to watch hunting and climbing trees. One time, she climbed to the top of a very tall tree in our backyard. She was stuck. My dad went into the garage to get the ladder, but when he came back, she was already down. Adopting a pet is super easy. Go to your local animal shelter and find the perfect family pet. They give you a chance to hold them and pet them to see which one's best for you. Fill out the application, pay to adopt your pet in the medical treatment, usually around $200. You may need a leash and some dog or cat food, a small expense for a loving pet. After you adopt your pet, don't forget to take care of it. It'll need food, water, annual checkups, and of course, lots of love. Adopting a pet is easy and a loving gesture that saves lives. We love our pets and you'll love yours too. Thank you for that amazing speech. Now I would like to introduce Long Ray City.
Isaac, you are evaluator 3.
Yes, thank you for that introduction. Today I will be evaluating, and although I did not get an email telling what the speech is about, that is fine. I believe this is Vicky's second speech, and which is so.
Isaac, sorry, Vicky is not here. Yeah, I thought she's coming. I saw her today, so we will not have a third speech. We can move on to table topics.
All right, that works.
Okay, sorry about that.
I would now like to introduce the table topics master for today. Okay, let's start our table topic questions. Would you rather hop everywhere or skip everywhere? This goes to Miss Anna. And why?
Thank you, Postmaster Arjun. Topic Master Arjun. So the question is, do I want to rather hop somewhere or
Everywhere.
Oh.
Hop everywhere or skip everywhere?
hop everywhere or skip everywhere? All right, that's a good question. To me, both are the same. I cannot tell the difference between hop and skip now. I guess when I was young, I could do them differently. I could hop or skip. But now, to me, they are probably the same. If you ask me to do some, I will do both the same way. But I would think skip is what I would do, because skip is more joyful. Yeah, a hop would probably take more energy, because hop would require jumping off the ground, really spend a second, maybe half a second in the air, and then you have to drop. You will have to take the energy, use your leg muscle, hip muscle, and your ankle strength to lift you up instantly from the ground, and then repeat over and over. That's a lot of energy to be used. But skip, on the other hand, would be just quickly hopping between the two legs, just one and another, which would be really easy to do. I would think skipping will make my way of going around a lot more easier and resilient. So I would choose skipping. Thank you.
You can only hear one song for the rest of your life. Would you rather it be Baby by Justin Bieber or Red by Taylor Swift? Why? This question goes to Avia.
Could you repeat the second song?
Red by Taylor Swift.
Well, I've never heard Red by Taylor Swift, so I would choose Baby, I guess, because yeah, I've never heard Red, but also, and it may be annoying to hear that very catchy but annoying melody in your head all the time, or if you hear it, you would all the time, then it would get really annoying, but I don't know Red. So I would rather pick a song that I know rather a song that I don't know. Thank you.
Would you smell like eggs or feet, and why? This question goes to Kennedy.
Would I rather smell like eggs or feet? Okay. I would much rather smell like feet than eggs. This is a problem that my family has to deal with a lot because I like cooking a lot of eggs, but I used to cook them very undercooked, like the whites was still runny and it didn't smell so good. So I know exactly how bad eggs can smell. I don't think feet smell that bad. When feet smell bad, it's just because they've been sweaty and stinking in a sock all day. But if you actually keep your feet clean and you're not out working so much, your feet don't smell that bad, I don't think. And even if it did smell bad, even a little bad, it'd be like any other sweaty part of your body. It's not going to smell as bad as eggs. I can guarantee you. Eggs truly is an atrocious smell if you cook it undercooked, like I used to do when I was a little psychopath. Everybody around me would have to have really resilient noses to be able to handle me smelling like eggs wherever I went. And I would lose a lot of the clout I have with friends and people I interact with day to day. So I would definitely smell like feet rather than eggs. Thank you.
Would you rather have eyes in the back of your head or your head? Wait, okay. Or be able to taste with your fingers, and why? This question goes to Emma.
So the question was, would I rather have eyes in the back of my head or be able to taste with my fingers? I would rather have eyes in the back of my head because, for one thing, I use my fingers for basically everything. And if I touch something accidentally, it would be disgusting. And also, I play the piano. So every time I sit down and start playing, I would be tasting the piano keys. And my brother also plays, and I don't think he washes his hands very well. But, anyways, also, I use my fingers to write things and also just pick things up. And I have my pencils probably don't taste that well. And whenever I go outside, I would have to be extremely resilient and not like flinch every time I picked up a stick or my dog. Every time I touched my dog, I would taste wet, like disgusting. Well, if I had eyes in the back of my head, I could do a lot of secret things. I could pretend to be focused on homework or a test when in reality I'm looking at something at the back of the room that the teacher forgot to cover or things like that. Thank you.
Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page or bite your tongue every time you eat? This question goes to Mr. Jason.
Oh, I'd be resilient in trying to eliminate both because neither is comfortable. But if I had to choose between a paper cut every time I turn the page or biting my tongue every time I eat something, I just assume get the paper cuts. They hurt. Paper cuts hurt. They hurt really bad. But so does biting your tongue. And once you bite it once, it seems like you bite it over and over again. And I like to eat, so I would be biting my tongue a lot. Of course, I also spend a lot of time turning paper, and I'd be cutting my fingers, so I guess I would go more digital, and I would eliminate all the paper, I would not touch paper, I would just use the computer, and I would download and eliminate my paper cuts. But I think my friends would be wondering why I was so afraid of paper. And Christmas would not be the same either. Every time I tried to unwrap my gifts, I got paper cut. I'd have to let Deanna unwrap all my gifts. She'd probably keep them. So if I had to choose one, I'm choosing paper cuts. Thank you. Go back.
Would you rather always feel hungry or always feel tired? This question goes to Abby.
So the question was, would I rather stay hungry or stay tired? If I had to choose, I would choose to stay tired. Just as growing up and becoming now a high schooler, I've always just already felt tired 24/7, and I think I'm okay with doing that, continuing on. While staying hungry, I am a big eater. I snack a lot. I love to eat. I can eat a lot of different things, and so I would not want to stay hungry all the time. I like the feeling of feeling full. So overall, I think I'd have to stay resilient in with my tiredness, and I would rather choose to be tired than to be hungry. Thank you for the question.
Would you be a part of Fantastic Four or be a part of Avengers? Why? This question goes to Isaac.
That is a really good question. If I had to choose between being a part of the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, I am probably choosing the Avengers just because it's more well known. I watched more of their movies in recent years, and the last time the movie was over 8 years ago, and I don't even remember what happened. So, although the heroes in the Fantastic Four are really cool, but you have like Iron Man and Thor and Hulk, it's not a competition, and I would easily choose the Avengers. Thank you for that question.
Would you rather have a knife when you need a spoon or a spoon when you need a knife? And why? This question goes to Kyle.
So the question was, whenever I needed a knife, I would get a spoon, or whenever I needed a spoon, I'll get a knife. So I would rather get a spoon whenever I need a knife, because I really don't use knives a lot. I'm too young to cook, so yeah, I don't use knives. And if I was to hold a knife, they would think of me as a serial killer. So probably murdering someone. So you could use spoon to chop stuff, but it wouldn't be as easy. But spoon is what I use a lot to eat stuff. So that's why I would use spoon. Yeah.
Would you rather be speeding every time you're driving or be slow every time you're driving? This question goes to Deanna.
I am way too young to drive, but if you ask my dad, I'm not. He's let me drive to school. So I'd rather be speeding every time I drive so I can get to places faster. When I drive, I go 7 miles per hour. Very slow to get to school. So if I was speeding, I could get there in about a minute rather than 10. It would also be way easier to get to Target and wait for my dad to drive because he'll drive at the speed limit and I can speed. The only bad part about that is that I would get lots of tickets. But I'm not that rich, so someone else is gonna have to pay for them. And that also means I get to drive more.
Would you rather have very bad handwriting or have your hand cramp every time you write? This question goes to Olivia.
Would I have bad handwriting or would I cramp every time I write something? I mean, if I cramped every time, my hands are gonna have to be really resilient to it. But if I had to choose, I would choose to have bad handwriting because then I'm gonna become a doctor one day, and so when I'm writing prescriptions, I can just use that as my excuse. Like, I'm a doctor. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to have bad handwriting, and I could just play it off like that. But if my hands cramped every single time, then I wouldn't be able to write anyways. So both of those options come to the same conclusion. No writing. Nobody can understand what I write. It's either I'm writing very slowly or I have bad handwriting nobody can understand. At least I get an excuse to not do homework.
That concludes our table topic session. I would now like to introduce the general evaluator.
Greetings, Ms. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. The purpose of the general evaluator is to basically evaluate everything. I took notes on the speeches, like preparation, organization, or that's what the evaluators do. And then currently I will give my report. Thank you, Ms. Toastmaster. So a lot of us showed up on time, which was really great. And for our speeches, we had really great speeches from Mr. Jason on social media and branding, and then Deanna's speech on pets. Overall, they were really great speeches. They had interesting topics and great deliveries. For our table topics, we had good timing, good questions, and amazing answers from everyone. We stayed on schedule, and a lot of us used the word of the day. That's the end of my general evaluation. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, General Evaluator, Abby. All right, so now it's my turn to do the evaluation for Jason. Jason, you did an amazing speech on the social media presence. I feel I learned a lot. I'm not very good at posting on the social media, and now because of the reasoning you provided, because of the so many good uses that social media can bring to me, I realize I can maybe do it and use your strategies. So thank you for doing that presentation to bring me awareness to myself and even give me the technique on how to do it. And I hope everybody here, even though you are young, but when later when you go to high school or college, you may need a social media to present yourself professionally. So you can come back to Jason, ask for advices. Now, I'm supposed to give you something you can work on. So this is what I think. I think your speech is already really good, but I would like to see more transition between the parts of your speech. I would also want to see that you highlight the key point. First you have uses. Under uses, you have two uses. And then you have branding strategy. So I would like to hear, now we know the uses, how are we gonna do it? Let's talk about the branding strategies. So highlight that headline will bring me more focus to your speech because I'm ready for the next subtopic. So that's the only thing I think you can use for your speeches. Yeah, but I really appreciate your speech. Thank you so much.
To start things off, I would like to say, Deanna, you did an amazing job on your speech. I would not have done very good on that one as I own 6 fish and that barely counts as a pet because I don't do anything to help. But I think that you did really well on the organization of your speech, how you went from your experience from having pets to going to how to adopt a pet. I think that was a very good organization. And I think that your opening statements were really good and how you captured your audience's attention and how you made some humorous topics about your own pets. And I think that really captured my attention personally. And that made me wonder, what's going to happen next? I want more. And I think that was really good about your speech. Something that could have made your speech a little bit better is using more body language, such as your hands, to show how your pets contribute to your life. Using some sources like percentages, like how do pets help the children out with school? Maybe that will persuade the parents to get the children the pets. And maybe providing some solutions to problems. Like I'm trying to get my parents to buy me like a cat, but they won't let me buy them because of fur. And what are we gonna do when we're going on vacation? And what if we can't bring them? If we're going overseas, things like that. And yeah, that's it. Overall, you did really well. Alyssa, would you like to give us like an evaluation of how the meeting went?
So the meeting went pretty well. We learned about how like branding works from Jason and why we should get pets from Jana. And we have learned some stuff from some other people. And I think the meeting went pretty well. Yeah.
Nadia, would you like to give us a meeting evaluation? Yeah, Nadia, would you like to tell us about your week, how it went?
On Monday in school, on Monday me and my friends played a game where you have to like bounce the ball to each other, and then you can like do a super big bounce. Then you have to catch it, and and then on Tuesday, I had $7, and we got, and my school has like this type of bookstore which has 3D printed stuff in it, and I got a dragon with it, and I still have 350. So after fall break, like there are these moving dragons coming in. So and on recess, I played with my friend Ella, and she has a 3D printer at her house, and she 3D printed a lot of stuff, and she brought them to school, and we played with them. And before before that morning, I had these two axolotls that move, and they were 3D printed, and they have these keychains attached to them. So we were playing with them, and on Wednesday, me and Ella, we played this type of game. It's like another game where you have to just throw the ball, and whoever it hits has to throw the ball, and you have to try not to get hit by it. On Thursday, we went to art class, and on Thursday I was sitting with two of my friends, Rowan and Luke, and we were all making this type of painting which has these special paint colors, and they're kind of like acrylics, except then they're kind of more brighter and more neon. And on Friday, we had this thing, everybody had to fundraise money, and we got prizes. And so I fundraised $25, and there was like this checklist where you have to check off the things. Where there's like 10, 20, 30, 40 like that, and their prizes for each one. So you have to check up to the amount you gave, and then they gave you the prizes that were listed with it. And the Friday before that, it was like the last Friday which we could fundraise for Tiger Walk, which is this kind of thing where we walk around a lap, and we also run, and it's a fun day for Tiger Walk. And on Saturday, today, yesterday, I went to one of my friend's birthday party, and my little sister Mira also had her friend's birthday party, and I went because there wasn't enough time to drop me at home, and also nobody was home. So I came with her, and it was actually kind of still for my age, even though it was for like 3 or 2-year-olds. And there was also like areas for bigger kids and like middle kids. So I went to the middle kids area because I like that one most. And
Thank you for telling us about your week. Jeremy, would you rather wear red every day or blue?
I would rather wear blue every day because that's what I normally wear every day. And because most of my friends, they recognize me because most of the time I wear blue and sometimes I wear black, so I would rather wear blue every day.
Amara, if you were famous, what company would you sponsor and why?
Company. Okay. I would sponsor. Honestly, I don't know the company needs sponsoring, but I'll sponsor Amazon, or like I would kind of invest in Amazon because Amazon does have its ups and downs, but I think it has more ups than downs, especially around the holidays like Christmas or any holiday. Like if you think if you like invest in stocks, then if you think it goes down, it's gonna come back up around Christmas or Halloween, Thanksgiving, summertime, New Year's, like it's gonna come up, and I think it's a great investing or endorsement, but I really don't think it needs that much endorsement since it's like really popular.
Katie, would you rather always be very loud or very silent?
If I had to choose, honestly, I think the best choice would be stay silent. If you think about it, if someone's talking about someone and you spread it, spread the drama about false information, if you say something loud to someone, everyone's gonna have your attention on you, staring at you. They could be talking bad about you, but mostly I do stay silent. Mostly people don't want put downs or adding on if it's something you don't want to extend the conversation about. So honestly, I would stay silent. I'm used to staying silent. If they don't ask you or any questions, stay silent. It's probably the best decision. Thank you.
Amaya, which one of the superheroes would you want to be and why?
Can you repeat that again?
Which one of the superheroes would you want to be and why?
I'd rather be. Did you say superhero?
Yeah.
I'd rather be Flash, because if somebody was chasing me I'd be really fast so I could escape them. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Can we get the grammarian's report back?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Audia. I'm going to start with a list of everybody who used the word of the day. If I missed you on this list, I'm very deeply sorry. First was Mr. Jason with his speech, then Miss Anna with her table topics. I used the word of the day during my table topics. Mr. Jason used the word of the day with his table topics as well. And then lastly, Olivia used the word of the day in her table topics. On to the odd counters. Jason had one filler word, and that filler word was the word Deanna in her speech had no filler words. On to the table topics. Miss Anna had two uhs. Adia had one. I also had one Emma had one like. Mr. Jason had no filler words. Abby had one Isaac had no filler words. Kyle had three ums and one so. Deanna and Olivia had no filler words. And for the evaluation, Miss Anna had one and one so, and Olivia had three ums. That concludes the report. Thank you.
I would now like to call on the timer for their report.
Okay, so for the timed speeches, Mr. Jason had used 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and Deanna used 2 minutes and 37 seconds. For table topics, Miss Anna used 1 minute and 46 seconds. Audio used 42 seconds. Kennedy used 1 minute 33 seconds. I used 1 minute 55 seconds. Mr. Jason used 1 minute 1 second. Abby used 49 seconds. Isaac used 38 seconds. Kyle used 48 seconds. Deanna used a minute. Olivia used 50 seconds. And for the evaluations, Abby used 48 seconds. Miss Anna used 2 minutes 13 seconds. Olivia used 1 minute 35 seconds. And then after that, Alyssa used 36 seconds. Navia used 6 minutes 4 seconds. Jeremy used 17 seconds. Amara used 1 minute 5 seconds. Katie used 51 seconds. And Amaya used 54 seconds.
I would now like to conclude the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so next week there's no meeting, but let's find a speaker for the following meeting. Oh, Navia, Imara, okay. Who can be their evaluators?
I can evaluate next week since I didn't get a chance to do it today.
Okay, you said Emma's gonna be the third speaker?
I said I think
Oh, okay. Adia, the third speaker. And Isaac, you said you're gonna be the first evaluator?
Yes. And also, Emma didn't chat if we were going to have a meeting on fall break.
No meeting next week. That is on 12th. But on the 19th will be our
Yeah.
next. Okay, so the second evaluator, evaluating Imara. Katie, you wanna do it?
Sure.
Okay. Katie will do it. And third evaluator, evaluating Adia. Anybody? No. Shaking your- Navia, you will be the first speaker, right? Yeah, so I think I'll be too much. But I can put you down on the next meeting's evaluator.
Sure.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, general evaluator, Abby, can you do the general evaluator again?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, all right. Table topic master,
We're gonna be out of town.
19.
Yeah, we got
Can I be the
We'll be out of town.
tabletop master and the evaluator?
Okay, then I'll be the evaluator. Okay, Olivia will be the evaluator. Grammarian? Alisa, you want to be grammarian? Sure. Okay. And then timer? You will be, okay, yes. Arjun. Okay, we're all set. Keep this.
Alrighty, have a good fall break.
Thank you. Bye. That's it, yeah.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Jason. Hi, Deanna.
How you looking?
I will let Eric know no meeting next week.
Yeah, no meeting next week.
I will let Eric know because he was planning to come and give a speech next week, but I'll let him know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got to especially plot out because it's the school's calendar.
Yeah.
Program. So he can come on the 19th.
I'll let him know.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Excellent speak there, Jason. Deanna, you have grown so much. I was like, whoa, look at that. Excellent. I mean, not only in height, but in her delivery.
Yeah.
It was totally awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Bye.